Pascal. Coolio.
Did you know that if you don't get the proper kind of sleep, your brain can turn on itself? Well, recently scientists have discovered that that's the case. If you want to learn how this happens and how to avoid this, stick around. We've got you covered. Hello, welcome to Life Divergent. I'm Trina.
And I'm Jason. Today we're talking about sleep and how your brain cleans itself overnight.
And how, if you don't allow your brain to go through this process, it can turn on itself.
Before we start, it's important to note that we are not doctors, nor are we medical professionals. This is not medical advice, and it should not be misconstrued as such. If sleep is a real struggle for you, talk to a doctor, licensed medical professional, etc.
So, this is something that can affect anyone who struggles with sleep. But if you're autistic, have ADHD, or live with bipolar, this one's especially important to you. So, okay, we're going to go over a few things today.
The first thing is we're going to give a brief description of how the lymphatic system cleans the brain while you sleep.
Then we'll talk about why this matters so much for the neurodivergent brain, specifically autism, ADHD, and bipolar disorder.
After that, we'll talk about what happens when you don't get the requisite sleep. I am sure that many of you will recognize the signs and symptoms of that.
And then the good part, there are things that you can do to help ensure that you're able to get the sleep that you need, the deep sleep, to allow the system to clean itself out at night.
Sorry. What?
This is going to help your brain to stay more healthy.
All right. Well, the things that you can do include how you position your body, how cool your room is, how you use your light, how you time your food and drinks before bed, but we'll touch on those in a bit more detail later.
Okay, let's talk about what's happening when you sleep.
Well, in deep sleep, your brain cells shrink a little bit, and the cerebrospinal fluid rushes through all these newly opened channels and they sweep away the byproducts that your brain made all day.
So then the brain resets, but it's not just about getting rid of all the byproducts. It also calms things down and helps rebalance your neurotransmitters, which are the chemical messengers your brain uses to think and feel. So it's cleaning and recalibrating.
And that's why just resting your eyes isn't the same as sleeping. You actually need to reach the deep stages of sleep for this to work.
Right. Scientists have found that when the brain is starved of sleep and can't clear out its waste, it enters a state of crisis, so to speak. To keep finding energy and try to clear space, the brain starts to turn on itself.
Yeah, you have these tiny cells, as redundant as that is, in your brain called microglia. They're part of your immune system. Their job is to eat up dead cells or viruses or clean up broken pathways. However, when you are severely sleep deprived, the microglia can start eating the healthy connections between the brain cells.
In short, failing to get deep sleep forces the brain to consume its own connections for energy, which is not good. It keeps you moving in the short term, but you're losing valuable information and structural integrity.
And that's why, believe it or not, long-term sleep loss is heavily linked to memory decline. So, this channel is Neurodivergent Life. So why does this matter even more for the neurodivergent brain?
Well, there are two big reasons. One is a lot of neurodivergent people already have difficulty with sleep. They have irregular rhythms, trouble falling asleep, and lighter sleep. And two, these brains often start the night with a heavier load that needs to be cleaned, more to flush out.
So foregoing the deep sleep might give a typical brain a groggy morning, but it can push a neurodivergent brain into a much rougher day.
So the result, existing ADHD, autistic, or bipolar symptoms get amplified.
So what does this morning after look like?
So you can experience brain fog, first of all. You feel like you're thinking in mud, like your brain it's just foggy. I hate that when that happens to me. I wake up feeling like even though maybe I got enough sleep, I really didn't. And I didn't get the deep sleep that I need. And I can't. Everything just seems like I'm in a fog. My brain isn't thinking properly.
Yeah, that's where I am now.
Mm.
I'm normally pretty good about going to sleep before midnight, but I got caught up doing things, and all of a sudden it's like 2-ish. So there's fogginess right now, and I'm finding like I'm having a hard time finding the words that I'm trying to say. What are those called? Like memory misses, word slip, detail slip. It, it's not great when I have every morning, Monday to Friday, I have a meeting at 8:15. I'm not even close to 70% there. So,
Mm.
so I hope that no one calls on me to say anything.
And for some people, emotions can run really hot. They get dysregulated when they aren't getting the proper sleep. And it's like you can just get frustrated more easily, get angered more easily, just for things that normally wouldn't bother you.
Yeah, and when you're dealing with the brain fog, it's hard for you to think through things clearly and logically. So you can believe that the emotions you're going through have been, you know, that those are the results of what you see as logical, clear thinking. I have to remind myself on, I guess, after sleepless nights, remind myself that I'm tired. Like throughout the day, I got to remind myself, you're tired. Whatever you think you're feeling is not real. Just let it go. And it's always not great when I don't recognize that I'm tired and I think that bad things are happening.
Yeah.
So there's also the whole attention issue. As many of the people here probably have ADHD or are familiar enough with it. Yeah, that's amplified even more. I mean, you think it's bad beforehand. Like I take medicine for it, and the medicine at that point just kind of brings me back to my normal amount of inability to focus. So it kills the tired feeling, but then I'm just not where I need to be to get through the day successfully.
Yeah, medication for me only does so much. I mean, if I'm not getting the proper sleep, then I can still experience all of these things. And I particularly hate when I can't focus during the day.
Yeah, that's the worst.
So
So
there are 4 ways that we can help to sleep better, to make sure that our brain is able to clean itself out overnight.
yeah, we touched on these briefly, but to reiterate, it's about how you position your body at night
Mhm.
and help your sleep, the temperature of your room, how you can anchor your clock, so to speak, and cut out any late disruptors. So I can
Right.
dive right into this. About your sleep position, kind of helps the cerebrospinal fluid flow and do its job. The most efficient way to sleep to allow for this is on your side. Sleeping on your stomach and your back can limit that to a degree. So side sleeping is the most optimal, and it certainly helps to keep your neck aligned. I don't know if you have like a regular pillow, contour pillow, I don't know, $5,000 memory pillow or whatever those are. But having a supportive pillow to help keep your neck straight, avoiding compressing the veins though, that's important. Jugular veins is critical for helping carry out the dead cells, the waste, the, I don't know, what are they? Beta amyloid, just proteins you don't need anymore. They're clearing out. So keep
Right.
your neck aligned. Don't strangle yourself. That's generally true anyway.
Right. All right. And then cool down your environment. When it's time for bed, you'll want to set your thermostat low, like between 60 and 67 degrees, um, because this helps your body temperature fall. And that's one of the biological green lights for deep sleep. Another thing that you can do that really helps is take a warm bath before bed, because that can help draw heat to your hands and feet. And when you get out, your core temperature plummets. And this can speed up deep sleep onset.
Now, I got to tell you, I hate all of this because 60 to 70 Fahrenheit is, I know it's ideal, but I just, I, I have been, I mean, sleeping next to people who need the temperature low, and I'm like, this is not, we need this at like 74, 75. 60 to 67 is too cold for me.
Yeah.
But, not everyone's like that.
No, and you can use blankets and stuff to help keep you warm, but it is important to get the temperature as low as you can stand it so that it helps your body, your core body temperature.
Yeah. And like you said with the blanket, keeping the room cool is the important part. Yeah, the blanket will help keep you warm, but as you move throughout the night, your body is cooling down, even if you don't feel it.
Right.
And we can talk a little bit about chemistry now. This is fun. So, you said that getting out of a warm bath, will help plummet your core temperature. Now, why? Because the water evaporates, from your body, and that cools you down. Now, in order for that to happen, how is it that the liquid is evaporating, turning into a gas? It takes energy to do that, and it pulls the energy from your body. That energy is warmth, so that's why you get cooled down. That's why people sweat as well. Water uses the energy from your body to evaporate. So you get out of the warm bath or shower, and water's like, I need to get out of here, and I'm stealing all of your energy with me. And then you cool down. No, just like that. It does that.
Just like that.
And I'm not a fan of the warm bath thing, but shower is equivalent.
Right. Bath or shower. And you should do that about an hour or so before bed so that it has the opportunity to pull the blood out of your hands and feet.
So if we talk about our circadian rhythm, setting your internal clock.
Right.
I hate talking about this only because I don't do this, and I know I need to do it.
Me neither, but I didn't know about this first point, really.
Oh, yeah. So within the first hour of waking up, if you get 10 to 15 minutes of sunlight, just go outside, stare out a window, something. It
does say direct sunlight is better than through a window, but if all you can do is through a window, then
east-facing window is what I mean.
Yeah.
Just, don't hole up in a corner and look at the window from a distance.
Right.
But yeah, it starts an internal countdown so that about 16 hours later, your body will start to get ready for being tired, releasing melatonin, prepping your body for that sleep. And it does work. Any day that I have gone outside just for a few minutes, I've felt better about the morning, but also felt more inclined to relax at the appropriate time in the evening.
Right, and you should do this for about 10 to 15 minutes, right?
Yeah, that's ideal. So what also helps is waking up at the same time every day, even on weekends. Now, I have gotten to a point where that just happens anyway, which
right.
I don't like waking up at like 5:55 or 6:30 or whatever. But it does help, keeps the body used to doing one thing over the other. Especially when you think that you're fine, you can sleep in on the weekends, and then you have a harder time going to sleep when it's Sunday night, and that can throw off your rhythm for the next day or even most of the week. So keeping it consistent helps your body understand what's happening when it's happening.
Right. Even if that means setting your alarm for the weekends like you do during the week, it can really help.
And that's the real trick, isn't it? Letting yourself know and believing yourself. When you say it's not worth staying up, think about all the things you can get done if you stay up, sure. Or you can recognize that by staying up and getting a little sleep, you're not working as efficiently on the things that you enjoy the next day. So things
Right.
take longer. You have more negative emotions, as we mentioned before. And you'll end up wanting to feel more accomplished that day by staying up late again. Whereas I promise you, if you are able to get your body used to getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep, you'll feel good about what you are doing when you're doing it. You'll be able to optimize better.
And it's really difficult for people who are considered to be night owls, um, because our clock doesn't seem to work like, neurotypical people, and the world is set for neurotypical people. So we have to do our best to try to get in sync with what is required. Um, but it's difficult because we feel like our best thinking and our best creativity happens at around 2 o'clock in the morning. But your best creativity can happen at a different time if you get into the habit of resetting your circadian rhythms in this way and trying to follow the strict routine.
And if you're out there thinking, oh, not me, I'm an exception to the rule. Well, if everyone's an exception to the rule in their own minds, then no one is. So if you give yourselves the opportunity to try this more than one time, because I've heard
Right.
people say, oh, well, I got 8 hours of sleep once and I was really groggy and felt horrible. Well, you're not used to it. Give yourself a week or so to do that consistently, and then you will find that getting your normal, quote, 5 hours of sleep like you used to is a horrible experience. So
Right. Yeah, I'm getting a little tired of waking up feeling hungover, because even though I felt like I got enough sleep, apparently I didn't. I didn't get the good sleep that I needed. All right. Another thing that can help is to eliminate what we consider to be late night disruptors. So you have to protect your deep sleep, and this can help. Get into the habit of cutting off any caffeine intake 10 hours before you go to bed. So if that means if you go to bed at 10 o'clock, you're going to need to cut off your caffeine intake at what? Geez, 2 o'clock. You just need to try your best to do that, because caffeine blocks adenosine, which is a sleep pressure chemical that you need to help you fall into a deep sleep. So the sooner you can cut off your caffeine, the sooner that can start being produced to help you fall asleep. Another thing is, don't have alcohol before bed at least 4 hours prior. Now, this might be counterintuitive because alcohol is considered to be a sedative, and people feel like, oh, let's have a nightcap, that'll help us relax and help us sleep. But it's kind of a trick, because if you're using alcohol to help you fall asleep, alcohol, because it's a sedative, it kind of knocks you out rather than putting you into a nice sleep state that allows you to go into your deep sleep. And the final thing that we have here that is considered a disruptor is eating before bed. So you should try not to eat at least 3 hours before you go to bed, because when you're digesting food, it raises your core temperature and your heart rate when they should be dropping and getting ready to go into that state of sleep, when we really want our core temperature lowered.
it seems counterintuitive because if you eat a big meal, you feel tired, but you
Right.
feel tired because your blood is flowing to your digestive system and a little less so to your brain, so you feel sleepier. And if you are eating a lot and then letting that put you in a food coma throughout the night, well, your heart's still going, getting blood into your digestive system, and less so working to help clean out your brain.
Right. All right. So I guess let's recap. So if you take nothing else from today, take this. Sleep is brain maintenance, and it's important to your overall well-being.
Yep. And we had the four points, four takeaways, things to remember. That the deep sleep flushes out cellular waste. For neurodivergent people, missing sleep really exacerbates the negative symptoms. Can confirm.
Right. After last night, huh? You can protect that deep sleep by sleeping on your side, keeping your room cool around 60 to 67 degrees. That's Fahrenheit. And anchor a consistent wake up time with morning sunlight. And the last one is the checklist, the 10, 4, and 3, which is caffeine 10 hours before bed, cut it off, alcohol 4 hours before bed, cut it off, and stop eating at least 3 hours before bed.
There's a thing. I'm confident that some people will hear this and say, like I said, they're an exception to the rule. They function fine on 5 hours of sleep. The thing is, maybe you function well enough, but I mean, imagine how much more successful you would be if you let your body recover and rest the way that it needs to. I mean, honestly, you're just hamstringing yourself. So give it a try. Give yourself a week.
Yeah, and protect that brain.
Yeah, somebody has to.
Nobody's going to protect your brain like you will. All right.
It sounded like I was implying something with the whole somebody has to. Like, it sounded like there was, I don't know what that was meant to be other than, just take care of yourself.
Right.
I don't know, is what it is.
All right.
Anyway.
So I think that's it. And in next week's episode, we're going to be talking about the difference between obsessive compulsive disorder and obsessive compulsive personality disorder.
Very different and very similar things, of which I suffer both. So I can personally speak to these to a large degree. Looking forward to that.
All right. Me too. I hope to see you then. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.